The entertainment world was abuzz recently as Meghan Sussex prepared to make a remarkable return to the screen, signalling a new chapter in her career that promises to showcase her undeniable talent and passion for acting. Yet, even in a moment that should have been solely celebratory, gossip and speculation found their way into the narrative. Not long after news of Meghan Sussex's upcoming project emerged, Angela Levin, a journalist known for her penchant for stirring controversy, sought to cast a shadow over the excitement. Angela's comments suggested that Meghan was difficult on set and that her professionalism was somehow questionable, framing the Duchess in a negative light and attempting to diminish the significance of her return to acting. The assertions were swift and unrelenting, portraying Meghan Sussex as demanding and uncooperative despite her years of experience and demonstrated skill. The attempt to tarnish her reputation came just as fans and colleagues were preparing to celebrate her accomplishments, and it was a moment that required clarity, honesty, and defense from those who truly knew her work ethic and character. Into this fray stepped Wendell Pierce, a seasoned actor who worked closely with Meghan Sussex during her time on the hit series Suits. His response was swift, measured, and unequivocal, standing as a striking rebuttal to Angela Levin's narrative. Wendell Pierce made it clear that he had first-hand experience of Meghan's professionalism, kindness, and generosity, and that any claim to the contrary was nothing more than speculation and gossip from someone who had never worked alongside her. In his statement, Wendell Pierce addressed Angela Levin directly, calling out her attempt to profit from smearing a woman whose career she did not truly understand. He labelled her a gossip monger and a shameless hack, emphasising that her words were baseless and that they reflected more on her than on Meghan Sussex. Pierce's message was not just a defence. It was a firm stand for truth and integrity in an industry often too eager to believe negative narratives without evidence. The core of the story lies in the clash between Angela Levin's attempt to undermine Meghan Sussex and Wendell Pierce's unwavering defence. Angela, known for her controversial statements and inclination towards sensationalism, framed Meghan in a light that suggested arrogance and difficulty. She referenced anecdotal accounts from sources claiming that Meghan's behaviour on set was problematic, describing her as demanding and rude, even in her early days on Suits. The insinuation was that Meghan's rise in the industry came at the cost of others' patience, and that she had a tendency to be uncooperative or challenging. This narrative was presented in a way that seemed designed to attract clicks and attention, rather than offer an accurate portrayal of Meghan Sussex's professional life. It was a textbook example of how gossip can distort perception, using half-truths and vague sourcing to construct a story that grabs headlines while lacking substance. Wendell Pierce's response could not have been more contrasting. He painted an entirely different picture, one grounded in personal experience and genuine admiration. Pierce described Meghan Sussex as a kind, giving, and talented artist, highlighting her dedication to her craft and her collaborative nature on set. He recalled his time working with her on Suits with warmth and respect, emphasizing the positive interactions and the professionalism she exhibited every day. His message made it clear that Meghan was far from the difficult person Angela Levin suggested. Rather, she was a consummate professional whose contributions were valued and remembered by her colleagues. By sharing his first-hand observations, Wendell Pierce provided an authoritative counterpoint to the speculative claims, giving the public a clear perspective on who Meghan Sussex really is, as a professional and as a person. What makes this exchange particularly striking is the contrast between motivation and credibility. Angela Levin's narrative relied on unnamed sources, anecdotal interpretations, and a tendency to generalize isolated incidents into a broader character judgment. Her approach was typical of gossip-oriented commentary. Prioritize sensationalism over accuracy, frame a story in the most provocative way possible, and allow speculation to masquerade as insight. Wendell Pierce, on the other hand, spoke from experience. His words carried the weight of someone who had spent years working with Meghan Sussex, observing her talent, dedication, and interpersonal skills firsthand. In the landscape of celebrity commentary, the difference between those who manufacture drama and those who speak from knowledge is immense, and this incident highlighted it with stark clarity. Pierce's defense effectively neutralized the attempt to malign Meghan's character, replacing rumor with truth and respect. Angela Levin's attempt to undermine Meghan Sussex also touched on broader cultural narratives that have historically plagued women in the public eye, particularly those who are ambitious and outspoken. Levin's framing of Meghan as difficult played into a tired stereotype, one where strong-willed and assertive women are labelled negatively for exhibiting qualities that might be praised in men. Wendell Pierce's response, therefore, carried additional weight. It wasn't simply a defence of Meghan as an actor, but a defence against the unfair labelling and gendered criticism that can accompany public scrutiny. By highlighting Meghan's genuine kindness and professionalism, Pierce dismantled not only the specific claims, but also the underlying assumptions about how women in the entertainment industry should behave. His words served as a reminder that talent and ambition are not flaws, and that attempting to belittle someone for these qualities is both unfair and inaccurate. The public reaction to this exchange was telling. Many viewers and fans praised Wendell Pierce for standing up for Meghan Sussex, noting that his credibility and first-hand knowledge lent significant authority to his statements. Social media, often a breeding ground for rumour and conjecture, became a platform where Pierce's defence resonated strongly, as people recognised the contrast between baseless gossip and informed perspective. The incident highlighted the importance of voices like Pierce's, individuals who are willing to publicly support colleagues against unwarranted attacks, and demonstrated the impact that a measured, honest defence can have in counteracting false narratives. It also emphasised the resilience of Meghan Sussex's reputation. Despite attempts to undermine her, the truth of her professionalism and character remained evident to those who truly knew her. Angela Levin's persistence in pushing narratives against Meghan Sussex also revealed something about the nature of celebrity reporting today. In a media landscape where sensational headlines often drive engagement, there is a temptation to amplify controversy, sometimes at the expense of accuracy. Levin's comments were framed as insider knowledge, yet lacked the verification and context that would make them credible. By contrast, Wendell Pierce's words were not designed for sensational impact. They were grounded in fact, personal observation, and respect. The contrast between the two approaches made the situation a case study in the responsibility that comes with public commentary. It underscored that while gossip may generate immediate attention, credibility and integrity endure far longer and carry far more weight in shaping public perception. Throughout this episode, Meghan Sussex herself remained a figure defined by her professionalism and talent, rather than the drama surrounding her. While Angela Levin's comments sought to draw attention to alleged shortcomings, the broader narrative, reinforced by Wendell Pierce's defense, emphasized her contributions as an artist and her collaborative spirit. The focus, as Pierce demonstrated, should be on her achievements and the positive experiences of those who have worked with her, not on speculative claims from a journalist with a history of sensationalism. In this light, Meghan Sussex emerges not as a subject of gossip, but as a respected professional whose work speaks for itself, and whose allies are willing to publicly affirm her character when it is called into question. It is also worth noting the skill with which Wendell Pierce managed his response. He avoided sensationalism or personal attacks, choosing instead to highlight truth, experience, and respect. This approach not only deflected the negative narrative, but also reinforced his own credibility. By focusing on factual observations and the positive aspects of Meghan Sussex's professionalism, he avoided the trap of escalating conflict while effectively neutralizing the smear attempt. In doing so, he modeled a form of advocacy that is both principled and impactful, demonstrating that defending someone's reputation does not require responding in kind to gossip, but instead relies on truth, perspective, and integrity. Angela Levin, meanwhile, continued her pattern of commentary that prioritizes provocation over accuracy. Her attempt to paint Meghan Sussex as difficult, demanding, and rude exemplifies the challenges faced by public figures in navigating media narratives that often blur the line between fact and opinion. Levin's words, framed as insider knowledge, highlight the ease with which unverified claims can be presented as truth and the speed at which such claims can circulate online. Yet, the immediate and authoritative response from Wendell Pierce demonstrates that truth and credibility can prevail even in a media environment predisposed to sensationalism. His defense serves as a counterbalance, providing audiences with the context and first-hand insight necessary to evaluate the claims critically. Ultimately, this episode is not simply about a clash between a journalist and a public figure. It is about the power of truth, first-hand experience, and loyalty in shaping narratives. Angela Levin's attempt to undermine Meghan Sussex was notable for its audacity, but it was equally notable for the swift and clear response from Wendell Pierce. In defending Meghan, Pierce did more than rebut baseless claims. He affirmed the values of professionalism, respect, and integrity that underpin successful careers in entertainment. His actions remind us that while gossip can be loud, informed, and principled, voices carry enduring influence, shaping public perception in ways that rumour never can. As Meghan Sussex prepares to appear on screen once again, this incident stands as a testament to her enduring professionalism and the loyalty of those who have worked alongside her. Angela Levin's commentary, though designed to provoke and diminish, ultimately failed to overshadow the respect and admiration earned by Meghan through her talent and character. Wendell Pierce's defense served not only to protect Meghan's reputation, but also to reaffirm the importance of truth and first-hand experience in evaluating public figures. In the end, the story highlights not the attempts to smear, but the resilience of a respected artist, the integrity of a colleague willing to speak out, and the enduring value of credibility in a world too often dominated by gossip. This clash between Angela Levin and Wendell Pierce over Meghan Sussex's character underscores a broader lesson about media literacy and the responsibility of journalists. It reminds audiences that not all commentary carries equal weight, and that the credibility of a source matters as much as the story being told. Angela Levin's attempt to cast Meghan in a negative light illustrates the dangers of unverified reporting, while Wendell Pierce's response exemplifies how experience, first-hand knowledge, and a commitment to truth can counteract misinformation. For Meghan Sussex, the episode is another affirmation of her professional integrity and the loyalty of those who recognize and value her talent. For the public, it is a vivid demonstration of the contrast between rumor and reality, sensationalism and truth, and the enduring power of principled defense in the face of unjust criticism.